Spencer, welcome to Floor Talk. It's fantastic to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Judy. It is such a pleasure. I grew up in New York, so being on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange is just a real bucket list item and an honor, so thank you for having me.
I want to start off by talking about the company. Tell me about Lightsource and also share a little bit about your background.
I actually spent most of my career at Tesla, where I helped lead a program there called the Model 3. And one of the big challenges that spoke to me quite a lot was that we were sourcing $30 billion of car parts on Excel spreadsheets and emails. And so I went out and tried to find, is there any great procurement tool that'll help us do our work better and faster? And I was just shocked to discover there wasn't anything that good. There's been this missing system of record where Lightsource is really filling a pretty substantial gap for a lot of enterprise customers. We help corporate procurement teams find vendors and buy from them. So instead of running like a sales motion, you run a procurement and sourcing motion through Lightsource.
So it's a new year, 2025. What are the biggest global trends you're seeing as we move into this new year, and how do you think they'll impact businesses?
I think 2025, I would call it the year of supply chain redesign. So during COVID, it was all about supply chain disruption and being agile. The last few years, it's been about normalization. How can we steady the ship and really get goods where they need to go? Are we nearshoring? Are we onshoring? Are we dual sourcing? So having suppliers in multiple locations. And I think people are right now, they're standing at the gates kind of waiting to see what'll happen.
So tell me, what do you think will happen with the tariff policies and how will they impact global trade?
The first thing I'll say is I think the most sophisticated businesses have prepared themselves already over the last 2 years. Because we've already had one Trump White House, we've already had one set of tariffs applied. And so the businesses that are really ahead of the curve, we have a customer that's a large global shoe brand retailer where they relocated a lot of their manufacturing from China to other low-cost countries like Vietnam. They did that 2 years ago when we all thought that, Biden or Kamala Harris might be elected president. Now, the thing is, there's some companies that are actually going to be caught on their heels. And so what they're trying to do is actually sort of a different strategy, which is accumulate inventory. Because if you know, hey, in T-minus 6 weeks, I'm going to be paying 25% extra for goods coming out of a certain country, you might think about that and say, okay, I'm going to switch over to a new supplier, but in the meantime, I'm just going to buy as much stuff as I possibly can and warehouse it here in the United States.
So let's talk about your procurement platform. What sets it apart from other solutions that are in the market?
The reality is that today, 76% of procurement teams are using Excel and email every day as their primary tool. By contrast, 86% of sales teams are using a CRM every day. So that just sort of draws the distinction there. Our team, Silicon Valley-based, really technical engineering team, all ex-Meta, ex-Google, places where you'd expect to see world-class talent using AI in a very sophisticated and thoughtful way throughout the app to help automate and do things better and faster for people. iPad or an office chair, that's technically procurement, but it's really purchasing, just helping you get a one-off good. So direct materials is something that the company buys to put into its product or sell to a consumer. So that would be like Tesla buying car parts. Indirect is anything the company buys to consume itself. So that would be when at Tesla, we maybe would buy something like office chairs or soaps or fire extinguishers, that's all indirect. The difference between direct and indirect is direct falls into COGS and indirect is SG&A. So we really focus on not just helping people just buy off-the-shelf stuff, but really with the core procurement functions. So we work with big three automotives, we work with Yum brands, so KFC, Taco Bell, HelloFresh, they'll buy hundreds of millions of dollars of potatoes and condiments through Lightsource, Bombardier up in Canada, Canada Goose, if you know those really warm puffer jackets, but instead of car parts, they're sourcing down, feather, that kind of thing. So it's really the cockpit for the professional procurement manager to do their work better and faster.
And finally, Spencer, congratulations on your recent funding round. Tell me about this round and how you plan to spend this capital.
This is actually our third financing round, and so I'm very proud to announce that we've raised an additional $26 million at a $130 million valuation, led by three incredible firms. Lightspeed, which is a top VC in the Bay Area, Bain Capital is a private equity firm in Boston, and J2 Ventures, which is an aerospace and defense venture investor. Just really incredible firms. So we've raised a combined, I think it's over $33 million, and we're a team of 20 people. The number one thing that we're going to do with the capital is build the team. Team is everything. Team drives the sales, team drives the product development, team makes sure that our current customers are supported. We have the ambitious goal of doubling our headcount across the board in just Q1 of 2025. We're recruiting for every possible position, so if you're out there and you're like a superstar in your field, engineering, sales, customer success, marketing, I'm looking for a chief of staff. So really talented people. It's not easy work. It is hard work.
Well, it sounds like exciting times ahead for Lightsource. Congratulations to you, Spencer, and thank you for joining me on Floor Talk today.
Thank you so much, Judy. I appreciate it.